Batman has been reinvented many times across his 80-plus year span. We've seen him as the gothic detective of the night, the billionaire playboy vigilante, the sci-fi tactician with endless gadgets, and even the broken veteran in an armored suit. But in 2024, DC Comics made a very different decision. Not another reboot, not another timeline cleanup. Instead, they created an entirely new universe, a vision completely separate from the continuity that we've known. And within that universe lives a Batman unlike anything we've seen before. A Batman without money, without privilege, without an empire. Just raw fury, desperation, and a city collapsing around him. This is Absolute Batman, the centerpiece of the Absolute Universe, DC's radical effort to rebuild their mythology from the ground up. So in today's video, we'll cover everything that you need to know about Absolute Batman and Absolute Batman's universe to hopefully try and get you a head start if you're looking at getting into this series, because, trust me, it's absolutely fantastic.
I'm Batman. I'm Batman. Fear. I'm vengeance.
So like I said, the Absolute Universe isn't just a soft refresh or a gentle retooling. It's a ground zero continuity, a brand new world with brand new versions of the characters. There's no crisis event, no timeline trickery, no multiversal gimmicks. It's not an Earth 2 or Earth 89 or Earth something. Well, it simply is. The idea behind it is bold. Take DC's most iconic heroes and ask a single question. If these characters were created today, in today's world, what would they look like? Not just in costume design, but in their backgrounds, their motivations, their relationships, and the systems they are fighting for, or against. The result is a universe that feels sharper, more grounded, and far more attuned to the anxieties and realities of the modern world we live in today. The first and most striking change comes with Bruce Wayne himself. In the Absolute Universe, Bruce Wayne is not a billionaire. He's not a public figure, a celebrity, or a symbol of inherited power. He is a 24-year-old civil engineer, blue-collar, underpaid, and living paycheck to paycheck, in a cramped apartment in a failing city. He works long hours on unsafe job sites. He comes home extremely exhausted. He feels the grind of a system that isn't built to help people like him. Gone is the Wayne fortune, gone is the mansion, gone is the idea that Batman can simply just throw money at problems that he faces. And without money and without privilege, without access to the best training in the world or the most advanced technology, Bruce's war on crime becomes something far more reckless and far more human. His mission is no longer the obligation of a billionaire trying to right a personal wrong. It becomes the fight of someone who is already at the mercy of a broken world, someone who has nothing left to lose. To understand this Batman, you have to understand the Gotham that he lives in. The Absolute Gotham is not theatrical. It's not a gothic cathedral city drenched in neon rain. It's not cinematic, mythic, or operatic. It's real. It's the city you might recognize on the way to work. A place where poverty traps entire generations, where corruption isn't hidden behind a supervillain monologue. It's baked into the fabric of everyday life. Crime here isn't committed by colourful rogues with gimmicks. It's born from collapse, from scarcity, desperation, and the failure of institutions. In this Gotham, Batman isn't simply fighting criminals, he's fighting the conditions that produce them. His war isn't symbolic, it's insurgent. This is a Gotham that's already drowning, and Bruce Wayne puts on the mask not to become a legend, but to try and keep the city from sinking any further. Now in this world, even Bruce's closest ally has been reshaped. Alfred Pennyworth in the Absolute Universe is not the warm, fatherly caretaker that we're used to. He's a former MI6 operative, strategic, hardened, and secretive. He doesn't gently guide Bruce, he studies him. He evaluates his choices, he intervenes only when necessary, and not always out of compassion. There is tension between them, a quiet, uneasy, uncertain dynamic that feels more like handler and asset than father and son. This new Alfred isn't there to comfort Bruce, he's there because he sees a potential threat, a potential weapon, or a potential ally. But what truly sets this Batman apart is his philosophy. Classic Batman fights crime. He sees criminality as an individual failure, a person doing something wrong that must be punished or prevented. Absolute Batman is fighting something else entirely. He's fighting the system. He didn't inherit a fortune, like I said, he inherited trauma and responsibility without the resources to hide behind it. Now speaking of trauma, Another key difference in this universe is that Bruce, that faithful knight in Crime Alley, or in this case, the zoo, he only lost his father. Martha Wayne actually survives, and she's still there in the present day in this story. And the relationship between Bruce and his mother, without the existence of any kind of father figure, is very, very interesting. Very, very different. Anyway, Bruce sees Gotham not as a battlefield, but as an ecosystem, and one designed to fail the people within it. His mission isn't necessarily just to stop criminals, he's trying to disrupt the machine that creates them. And all of his tools reflect that. The bat symbol on his chest, well, it's not there to represent a bat, it's not armor, it's actually an axe. A literal, physical weapon, one that he whips out like some kind of handle, sticks it to the bottom of the emblem, and it becomes a huge, oversized, deadly axe. It's so badass. The pointy ears on the cowl, they're actually knives. The cape, not theatrical at all. It's functional, tactical, made for movement, protection, sometimes warmth, and sometimes violence. This isn't Batman the detective. This is Batman the insurgent, a guerrilla fighter using whatever scraps he can get his hands on. The Absolute Universe leans heavily into realism and consequence. Violence is no longer a dramatic spectacle. It hurts, it's messy, it leaves bruises, scars and broken bones on both sides. Because Bruce doesn't have advanced armor or crazy endless technology, every fight feels dangerous, every mistake feels fatal. He isn't the invincible icon from some versions of the mythos. He is a young, angry man, pushing his body beyond its limits with no guarantee that all this won't just kill him. There is a constant sense of risk, and that makes this story feel very alive. So why does this version of Batman matter so much? Because it gives new readers a clean, accessible starting point without decades of continuity to memorize. It gives longtime fans a bold new angle on a character they thought they fully understood. It asks questions that feel incredibly relevant today. Who is Batman without money? What happens when the system is the enemy? What does justice look like when every institution has failed? What does Gotham look like when it's not a fantasy but a reflection of our own world? Absolute Batman isn't replacing classic Batman stories. It isn't trying to overwrite the wealth of history the character has. It's an experiment, a thought-provoking challenge to the mythology of the Dark Knight. This is Batman stripped down to his very, very core. Batman without any safety nets. Batman without illusions. This is the Absolute Universe. Now, I'm not going to go too far into the happenings of the story itself. I wanted to put this video out there as an appetizer, if you will. Something to get you ready to get into the comic books, knowing what it is you're diving into. I feel like this has been said a lot regarding the Absolute Batman series, but I honestly can't recommend it enough. It's probably, and I don't think I'm exaggerating when I say this, the best Batman comic books we've had in memory. To be honest, Court of Owls is probably up there. I don't think there's been anything particularly amazing since then, and it just so happens that this is also written by Scott Snyder, so that tells you something. But yeah, I just can't wait for this series every single month. I haven't been overly bothered or interested by the expanded Absolute Universe, but it is what it is. I'm a Batman guy, always have been, always will be. I really want to know what you guys think about Absolute if you've read it. Let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to discuss. I also would love to discuss Absolute Batman on a live stream here very soon. If you were present during our last live stream, I'd like to thank you for the support, and if you weren't, I'd love to see you in the next one. My plan is to do them every other week, so stay tuned for more live streams, more lore videos, more comic book breakdowns, and just more Batman. Thank you very much for getting to the end of this video. Thanks for clicking on it in the first place. You guys are all legends. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and I will see you next time on the Batcave.